Welcome to Sled Talk, where we love talking all things snowmobile. I'm Rob Reed.
I'm Steve Glass.
And we're here talking snowmobiling from pulling the cord to pulling your hair out and everything in between. There's so much to discuss. In fact, Steve, this week, a bit of a hot topic around the world really is tariffs.
Yep.
And how are they or aren't they going to affect snowmobiling? And let's face it, there's a lot that we won't know, and we're just going to have to watch and see. But with the tariffs on steel and aluminum between Canada and the USA, we know that's going to have an effect on any aluminum, especially going to the States, which is going to drive up some of the pricing. But I found it interesting that while Polaris is made completely in the US, and there will be a tariff on bringing those new sleds into Canada, obviously, BRP Ski-Doo is made here in Canada.
Right.
So when we look at the split between sales in Canada and US, it's interesting because both countries sell about 50,000 sleds a year.
Of both those brands?
Yeah, of both those brands. Those are the two major brands right now. And that's, going back to 2022, 2023. I mean, it varies a little, but on average, it's about 50,000 in each country.
Right.
So one isn't really dominant over the other. But now, with the tariffs in place, you're going to think that maybe Ski-Doo has a more dominant role in Canada, and Polaris may have a more dominant role in the United States. But some of the interesting things that come from that right now is Ski-Doo, as an example, has all of their Can-Am quads and all those products built in Mexico.
Right.
And they build their engines in Mexico. But, and so I don't know what there's going to be there for tariffs to bring it from Mexico to Canada, because we really don't have a problem with Mexico.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing that a lot of people probably don't know is that a number of years ago, probably close to 10 years ago now, Centerport in Winnipeg created a memorandum of understanding for free trade between Mexico and Canada, so that when they're shipping stuff to and from the two countries, even though it's passing through the USA, they wouldn't be subject to any kind of taxes that were available then. And I'm really thinking I should give my friend Carly over at Centerport a call and say, hey, listen, you should probably reach out to these guys, because maybe there's an opportunity for BRP to bring their products through into Canada and avoid tariffs and avoid taxation and all that sort of stuff. It'd be great for Winnipeg to have a area of distribution, from over the center of Canada. So it might be really interesting what they can or can't do with that. And maybe they can't do anything, but I'll certainly be reaching out and saying, did you know that?
Let us know what they say.
I will, absolutely. Speaking of things that we've done in the past, we talked about links a couple episodes ago.
Right.
And one of the things that neither of us could find was, when did BRP take over links?
Right, I am,
And doing the research now to read up on tariffs and all these different things, I found that Lynx was bought by BRP in 1988.
Oh, okay.
So, for anyone that's, cares about that sort of thing, BRP has now owned Lynx since 1988.
And Lynx fired up in the late 60s originally. So
That's
they
right.
were their own product for quite a while.
Yeah, they were. And they were very successful in Europe.
Yeah.
And now they're in North America as well. The other thing that the tariffs may have an effect on that people may or may not have considered, and I certainly didn't consider it in our last episode, is the sale of Arctic Cat.
True.
Because now we've got new owners that are coming in, or prospective buyers that are coming in, and they're doing all of the work, the due diligence that we talked about in the last episode. But the other thing they have to keep in mind now is, what is the cost now going to be of building these products?
Yeah.
And what is the sales opportunities, or maybe lack thereof, because getting them across the border into Canada, Arctic Cat would obviously be affected by that as well. So
not only getting them across into Canada, but there's a huge push to buy Canadian now, right?
Right.
So are people going to just switch over to more BRP products because of that?
I would suspect there's going to be some of that, for sure.
There will be some of that, yeah.
Yeah. So, like I say, neither of us know what exactly tariffs are going to do, but they are going to have some changes for us, without a doubt. So, I mean, put your seatbelt on and get ready for the wild ride, because that's really all we can do. And as you and I see and hear things, I'm happy to talk about them here and kind of share what we're learning. And again, we're not experts in this area at all.
No,
so it's just
see what happens, see how it plays out. Yeah.
exactly just our observations. But I'd like to think that we've done enough research to give a reasonably good observation. So something that's been around for a very, very long time, Steve, are triples.
I love this one.
Yeah.
I love triples.
Okay, let's talk about triples.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no better, I mean, people argue this, no better snowmobile motor than a nice triple.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, we're both triple guys. And I'll say that as young guys, we really came into our own as riders in the 90s.
We put most of our miles on triples.
Yeah.
Most of our big rides where we were gone all day, putting on hundreds of miles.
Yeah, on triples.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And, we both loved them. But triples have been around, and even in some cases, four-cylinder sleds since the late 60s.
Oh, yeah. King Cats.
Yep. Yeah.
Some of the what was the Polaris version?
Centurions.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of that, whether they were free air or liquids.
A lot of free air liquids back then.
Yeah.
That weren't making a whole lot of horsepower either, but they sure sounded nice.
Yeah, for sure. And, lots of blow-ups because, they were free airs.
Yeah.
But triples really came into their own in the 90s. Polaris had some very good triples, so did Ski-Doo.
Yeah.
And like you say, both of us just absolutely loved those sleds. And the power, the sound, the smoothness that came with them.
Yeah.
They were just fantastic motors.
They were.
And why do you think, Steve, and I mean, there's obviously a lot of debate on this, but why do you think they went to twins?
Weight, I think quite a bit of weight, but also the Rev chassis doesn't fit a triple very well.
But you have one.
Even though my favorite Rev has an 800 triple in it.
Yep.
And I don't know, they could easily make that one again, and I would buy it, be all over it. But I think it was weight, a lot of weight. Like everything, right when that Rev came out, their big claim was how light they were. And that's what like Arctic Cat and Polaris and those guys all went after Ski-Doo about. They're so light, they're just going to break, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then from that point on, everyone just tried to make their sleds lighter and lighter and lighter. And triples aren't really light. But like my favorite Rev has a triple in it, and I would ride that over anything.
Well, I've sworn that when my sled finally dies, my Dragon, and I'm 150 miles away from 10,000 on it, so laugh if you will out there.
On a 2009 Dragon 800.
Yeah, absolutely. But 150 miles away from 10,000 on that sled, on that particular chassis.
But how many on that particular motor?
Oh.
A little less.
A little
that
less.
Was pretty early on. That was pretty early.
That was early on, yeah.
They straightened everything out in the first year or two.
Yeah, exactly. Probably close to 8,000 of those miles are on the current motor.
Yeah.
But I've threatened to make that one a triple when the time comes, and we'll see if I have the energy and desire. But
yeah,
that would be pretty cool too to have that as a triple. But the other thing too that happened was Polaris went away from the Fuji motors and started making their own.
Right.
And that kind of went around that same time when they went away from the wedge chassis into the XC series of sleds. And I have to say, I mean, having owned one of those sleds as well, the 800 that I had was fantastic. I can't complain as a twin.
I think it was just too hard to put a triple into the new chassis, really, because my triple has no oil injection on it anymore because there's not enough room for the oil pump, and it has no air box because there really wasn't enough room for the air box. So to do it properly, I don't know if it would all fit in there all that well.
Right. So a lot of challenges for engineering.
It's the weight too, but I mean, God, it sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I just, like I say, we're both big fans of the triples, and I just remember being so upset when they started making twins.
I vowed never to buy another Ski-Doo.
Yeah, well,
which I did, but.
Yeah, I remember yelling at one of the poor salesmen at the dealers, and I mean, he's a guy I know, so I don't know if yelling's the right word, but over a couple of drinks, we had some conversations that were like, "What the hell's wrong with Polaris? You work for these people. Tell them to fix it."
Yeah.
Those were the days, right?
Yeah. I think it was Polaris actually that got me to buy my first Ski-Doo triple, because you had your XLTs, which I kind of like the feel of, and then a friend of ours had a Storm. And I got to ride that Storm one night, and it was just amazing the way that felt.
Yeah, just that smooth power. They were just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Great power bands on them.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then I went on to have 700 and 800 triples.
Yeah. Well, I kept that XLT basically till that engine quit, around 12,000 miles.
Yeah, a lot of miles in that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Very little maintenance.
I don't think I did a lot to that sled, to be honest with you.
No.
You know what? There was a head gasket one time that was leaking antifreeze, so I changed that. You know, basic maintenance.
Yeah.
You know, the standard tune-ups and things
But I
at
think you were
snowmobile,
sort of under the impression you were just going to ride it till it died.
which I did.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you weren't, there was never a top end done or...
Yeah. I wasn't
like
out there to, maintain it forever. I mean, let's face it, the rest of the chassis was dying, and when the time came, it was time to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Shed a tear, of course, and I still have the original hood hanging in my shop at home. Yeah. So, Steve, tech tips.
Yeah.
What do we have for people today on from the mechanic's desk?
Maintaining your exhaust valves.
Okay, so how often should people do that?
Well, at least once a year. Like I like to, when a sled comes in here for a preseason, we yank out the exhaust valves and clean them.
Right.
And a lot of times they're really, there's nothing really wrong. Like they might have some carbon built up on them or something, right?
They're a little oily.
Not bad. They're a little oily. But sometimes they're seized right in.
Yep.
And you gotta pull them out and have a good look at them. I mean, I know nobody can see this, but there's a nice cylinder with a snapped off exhaust valve in it. And when that valve broke, it took out that piston and caused quite a bit of damage on this triple.
Right.
And, you know, if you'd pulled the valve out, you might have seen some damage to it before that, and maybe caught that before it, you know, took out the motor. I've opened up motors where the nuts on the top of the valves are stripped right off lots of times.
That's what caused my Dragon to
That you would have caught doing maintenance on it and cleaning it. You know, once a year. And if it's like the Skidoo ones are so easy to do, you just snap the caps off of the older ones, right? You could look at that halfway through the year again if you want.
Right.
But I think once a year is good.
You think once a year? A good friend of ours who does a lot of snowmobile maintenance, he recommends twice a year because it's just easier to stay ahead of the cleaning.
Yeah, doesn't hurt
You
nothing
know.
for sure.
Yeah, and just one more look inside your motor. But it's funny, that's exactly when we were joking about my Dragon and the engine blowing up. That's what caused it, was, as you say, the nut stripped off the top, the valve hit the piston, and that was that for that.
Yeah.
So, you know, had it been taken apart more than once.
Bellows being torn or something. I just did a sled where both bellows were torn.
Yeah.
You know, that wouldn't...
Oh, you'd lose so much performance.
Yeah, you lose all your top end, yeah.
Yeah. So, again, it doesn't hurt to take things apart and have a little peek.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. Bare minimum, you take the cap off and just make sure the valve's free. Bare minimum.
Yeah.
But it's usually just carbon built up. Scrape it off with a razor blade, and
Or they're pretty oily.
yeah,
you know.
or they can build up with oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And so now that we've got people knowing that they should at least be looking at their exhaust valves annually, maybe twice a year if you're bored.
Every sled that rolls in here for a preseason
Yeah, for sure.
on the list.
Okay, Steve, what do you got for products today?
I'm just gonna do some detailing sprays, really.
Okay, what does this stuff do?
This stuff, it's you know, as soon as you ask me something, I forget, right?
Always.
Yeah. It's a ceramic coating, ceramic spray, and it's got a pleasant cherry scent, which is really, really nice, because if you
You and your damn sense.
if you detail a snowmobile in here the next day, because my shop normally smells kind of oily and exhausty,
As it
I
should,
detail a snowmobile, you walk in here and it smells like cherries for the rest of the day.
How
So it's
special.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this stuff's called Plastic Shine, and it's through sun and snow. And then I've got some other stuff that I use called SC1.
Right.
And it just takes like you can spray it on the seats, the hood, plastics, metal, anything. And it just brings the shine back into it, and it stays on there. It's almost like kind of like clear coating your snowmobile. It really makes a huge difference in the look of it. And I mean, if you were going to sell a snowmobile and you cleaned it up and you sprayed it down with this stuff, it just looks like new. Like, it's really amazing. I only started using it this year, and I've probably used more bottles of this than I've sold, because I just bring it in and then I use it all.
Right.
And then I have to order more and I use it all.
Yeah.
And it's really good stuff.
Oh, good, good,
Yeah,
good.
I've never seen anything so easy
Right.
to make something look so good again, especially plastics.
Funny, just prior to the show, we were talking about, you know, how the appearance of snowmobiles.
Yep.
And we were looking at one sitting out in your driveway. And we said, you know what, overall, this sled looks really good, except that the seat was just torn to bits.
Yeah.
And it made this sled look like a piece of junk.
Yeah.
But if you looked past that, the sled needed to clean up, you know, some minor stuff.
Yeah.
But if they'd put a new seat cover on it, it would look in excellent condition.
Yeah, it's amazing. Then you can buy seat covers anywhere nowadays, right?
Yeah.
You put it on, and it increases. It would make some. If you're going to sell your snowmobile, or even if you weren't, but if you're going to sell it, it makes someone take a second look at it.
Right.
I had a Pro X in here the other day that looked beautiful, and one of the comments I got was, "Too bad the seat's all torn up."
Right.
You know, it just takes away. To me, I don't even want to look at that. I don't want to. Like if I was going to buy a snowmobile, I see a torn up seat in my mind. It's just like, oh God, I have to put a seat cover on, or it's the guy's doesn't want to keep his machine looking nice. So.
Well, you wonder exactly that. It just puts that picture in your mind: has this sled really been maintained?
Yeah.
And I mean, let's face it, seats sit out in the sunshine and they get rotten, and all the things that go with it. It isn't necessarily the quality of the maintenance that's been done to the sled, but it sure is a first impression that's hard to get out of your head.
Yeah.
Also, whether you're using your plastic shine or any other cosmetic things to keep your sled looking nice. I mean, let's face it, if you're going to turn around and sell it, you want to have a snowmobile that's easier to sell because it looks nicer. And let's face it, I mean, most of us work hard for the equipment we have.
Yeah.
And why not take care of it so it lasts a season or two longer?
The first time I got some of this stuff, I had a sled come in here. It had been sitting for about 7 years, and it was the woman that owned it. It was her father's, and he'd passed away, and it had been sitting. And they wanted to get it going again, and I just bought some of this, and I'd gone through the machine and gotten it running, and I sprayed a little bit on this on to try it, and it did such an improvement that I ended up using a can. Cost me $20 just to do this entire snowmobile for this person,
right,
for free.
Yeah.
Because A, I thought it would be nice because it was her father's snowmobile, and B, it just came out looking like new.
Yeah.
And then I put those pictures online. It was amazing what that stuff does. It's so simple.
Right. Would it take away the yellowing that you get on the plastic in front of your headlights?
No, I don't think it would. But I mean, this windshield on this machine was all hazy and ugly looking.
Yeah.
And after I sprayed it with this stuff, it actually made the windshield look a lot nicer and a lot clearer. It's just kind of like clear coating.
Okay.
Yeah. I use it on my car and stuff too, especially with the nice cherry scent.
Yeah. Cherry scent. Yeah, so I mean, we talked last episode about the ability to get parts and pieces. Here's another opportunity for things that you can buy from Steve that don't require you bringing your sled in for service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. Well, Steve, is that it for today?
For products and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think we've put together a pretty decent show for the people.
Sure.
Yeah, so remember, snowmobiling is all about performance, and Performance Supply is all about ensuring a great snowmobile season. Remember to hit the like and subscribe, share with your friends. We're building a great audience out there, and we want to make sure that people start getting more and more into snowmobiling or come back to a sport that they've loved for years. Have a great night.
See ya.